everyone, welcome to African Brands. I'm Ore Ajewale. It's good of you to join us again this week. This week we've got a bit of a treat for you as all our brands that we're talking about today are a little bit involved in the technology sector here in Nigeria, which is a growing sector, and I'm glad to say that these brands are doing quite well. Kicking off today with Terragon Group, which is Africa's fastest growing enterprise marketing technology company, enabling omni-channel access to targeted customers and connecting brands to over 100 million consumers in Africa. Here's our brand leaders chat with Deji Balogun, the co-founder of Terragon Group.
Terragon Group started in 2009 with the objective of providing value-added services to mobile network operators. A couple of months down the road, we saw an opportunity in digital marketing and advertising for the top brands in Nigeria. And then a year after that, we saw an opportunity to help publishers in Africa go mobile, because we realized very early in the journey that the Internet of Africa is going to be mobile. So we did all of those things to help increase the adoption of internet on the continent. Of course, leveraging technology, tools, data intelligence, and several other platforms that we use to bring consumers online, to give them access to the internet. So we have a vision where we say that we want to intelligently connect businesses to consumers in Africa, and we want to make mobile meaningful for everybody on the continent. So we help businesses understand their customers better. We help them attract, convert, and retain new customers. And we help them continue to drive transactions, to upsell, cross-sell, and continue to make money. So we like to say that we are positioning to be the growth engine of businesses in Africa. So for example, a bank is trying to acquire new customers, maybe on their mobile app or their USSD transactions. We give them access to a platform that has over 100 million profiles, that gives them access to intelligence about all these people, that helps them understand their interest, behavior, what their affinities are, what kind of problems they have right now, the kind of websites they visit, the touch points, the channels where they engage. And this is all geared towards helping businesses either take off properly and achieve growth, or to help them remain sustainable as a going concern. So we help them use the intelligence, the platforms, the technology that we have to develop meaningful relationships with the customers that they have. So over the past 2-3 years, the business has evolved from what it was about 19 years ago to becoming a platform to empower various industry leaders, stakeholders, and the top enterprise businesses in Nigeria to intelligently connect with their customers. Every startup, every enterprise business has an objective of acquiring new customers or better engaging the existing ones that they have. Banks are looking to open new accounts every day, and they're trying to get their existing account holders to do more. And that's a problem that we have seen in the market, and that's something we're going after right now by providing various platforms like the customer data platform and omni-channel marketing access to help brands and businesses reach customers in a meaningful way on the continent. Power alone is going to go a long way for the kind of business that we do. Policies as well, in terms of making it easier for us to partner with global companies. We're in a space where our competitors, our partners are all global, Facebook, Google, and a lot of them, because of the state of the macroeconomics of the country, it's very difficult to do business with a firm based in Nigeria. We've discussed with several people that each time they hear that you're a Nigerian company from Nigeria, they are curious to understand how you're doing these things that you're doing, how you're surviving. And it makes it very difficult to partner with these companies that we work with. In terms of things like transportation as well, we need to get our teams more productive, happier, more engaged. And that's something that, if some of these issues with transportation is fixed, can go a long way. And right now, the latest of the issues around talent, we have a big brain drain going on in the country today. I don't know if we're paying enough attention to it, but the country's best people are leaving. And I'm not sure how we're going to be able to build a global business in a situation where your best brains are going to Canada today, or they're in London tomorrow. Some people go to school for MScs and MBAs, and they just don't want to come back to the country. It's really bad, and that's something I think the government needs to do something about very quickly. We're happy to help, support, collaborate, partner, but we can't do it alone as private entities. In 5 years, in 5 years, we want Terragon to be a truly global company. Right now, we're Pan-African. We're in key markets: Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, and Kenya. In 5 years, we want to expand our footprint. And then in 5 years as well, we want to be at par with global companies from America, from Asia, from Europe. And we want to be possibly the first global enterprise business out of Nigeria. I think that's something that the entire ecosystem will benefit from. And that's a story that we're hoping to write. Starting from the founding team, we have a visionary, in the person of Aiteo, who's our MD and CEO. And we have been lucky, I would say, to find the best mind in the industry to work with us. We're at a point where we just set a vision for the company, and everybody is committed on board and striving every day to provide quality service to our customers. So that's something that I think will attribute the success of this business to today. It's the people that are behind everything you hear or say about Terragon is the unique people that we have.
Traveling abroad is fun until your mobile phone roaming charges make you roam. But you can take care of that with the wakanow travel SIM. Enjoy great roaming rates for as low as 10 cents per minute when you call home. Free incoming calls in 72 countries, including all the top destinations of the world. Global data bundles and so much more with the wakanow travel SIM. Visit www.wakanow.com/travel sim for more details. Terms and conditions apply.
wakanow. Let's go.
We begin with a brand leaders chat with the CEO of Tenece, Mr. Kingsley Eze, who's building a multi-competency enterprise transformation and technology consulting firm that combines enterprise and capabilities across many different industries and business functions. They're keen on delivering superior value to all their clients.
Tenece today has become a one-stop technology shop. It's a 300-plus man organization. So over time, we've built competencies in software development and IT advisory. Today, we're very strong in cybersecurity, supporting almost 70% of the banks when it comes to security solutions. We're very strong in infrastructure, be communications infrastructure and data center infrastructure. We're also very active on what they call endpoint devices as customers seek to expand the scope and level of using technology companies to provide services to their customers. we have developed a very strong outsourcing practice, where we provide resources to banks, to telcos, and other customers who are not interested in hiring and retaining a lot of IT professionals in their environment. There is no single thing we're doing. Our success is the result of a number of things we're able to do well. I make bold to say that we have the best people in the industry. Then over time, build the right culture of responsibility, of hard work, of empathy, of respect, both for amongst ourselves and most importantly to our customers. That has also helped us. Now, the other thing we consider very critical to our success is development. We train our people. We don't hold back anything when it comes to developing our people, and it's across board, not just our technical people. Even our management team, we make a lot of investments in training just to make sure we continue. We don't just attract good people, but we also attract and retain them. In the 10 years plus that we've been working, we don't have a single incident of failed project. There is no failed project anywhere today that have our name to it, not at all. Have we had challenging projects? Yes, of course. It's almost like the more challenging they become, the more they pull out the best in us, and the more determined we are to make sure we close it our usual way, which is closing it and closing it very well. Whatever we've been able to achieve as an organization has been the collective effort of the entire Tenece team, where everybody is working and doing their best, to make sure we achieve our set goals. I think about last year, it was somewhere between 87 and 90 million population in terms of the internet penetration in Nigeria. This year is about 103 million, Nigerians, with access to the internet. That is one of the primary indices or statistics that are used to measure to what extent a nation or a people are adopting technology. So on the individual basis, a lot is happening in terms of how individuals are adopting technology in Nigeria today. So starting from our academia, where a lot of general exams today happen using CBT. So our young people have more or less first scenario where they must begin to engage technology. Come to the financial services, you also see what technology is doing in the banks and all that. Government is an area where so much needs to be done, but it appears that it's not moving as fast as you would expect. I mean, one would also understand the size of government, the political cycles that tend not to continue with the previous activities of preceding regimes, the very bureaucratic nature of government. So all those things put together are possibly limiting government's ability to adopt technology as fast as possible. But I see a lot of things happening. Immigrations will be one good area. Corporate Affairs Commission is also another good area where quite a lot has happened, even though a lot more can also happen. Interestingly, Tenece is also involved in quite a number of technology initiatives happening at the government, at the federal level, and even at the state levels, with different states. So yeah, we may not have moved as fast, but we are definitely not where we were before in terms of adoption of technology. Of all the things we do in Tenece, one of the things that I consider very rewarding, not just to us in Tenece, but to the nation as a whole, is an initiative we started about 4 years ago. We call it the Genesis Hub. We invested in an innovation hub, which has become a breeding ground for young technology enthusiasts. In the past 4 years, we've trained thousands of young people on different areas of technology. In that time also, we have funded about 8 different startups, which are essentially young smart guys who have come together with interesting technology ideas, and we have helped them fund those ideas, nurture or incubate those ideas, and also help them take those ideas to the market. So that also becomes our own way of checking the issues around unemployment, and all that. Reality is that today there is a mindset that government should provide employment for, but it's actually not possible. And if you look at countries that have done very well with single-digit unemployment rates, low value unemployment rates, countries like China, America, Germany, if you look at them, you find out that their growth is actually driven by small, medium-sized enterprises. And that is the kind of orientation or revolution I would like to see in Nigeria, where young people will graduate from school and be more interested in what they can do with their hands, be more interested in what they can set up by themselves instead of dusting up a CV and trying to get into a paid job. So of all the things we have done as Tenece, our efforts in Genesis, represents the one that is closest to our heart because of the efforts, because of the role it's playing in developing young people in Nigeria.
All right, let's get into it. The MD CEO of Fast Credit Limited, Mr. Emeka Ilolumnachi. Fast Credit Limited provides value-based lending to persons who may not have access to credit from the traditional banking systems due to the financial inclusion policy by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Watch as he shares with us exactly how they make this possible.
We want to be the number one financial institution that of an individual thinks about a financial institution. He thinks about fast credit. And that will mean that part of our innovations, our plan, our strategies, our creativity will revolve around building financial products that will be tied to individual lifestyle. That's our dream. Let me start by saying that wherever you are, wherever you want to be, is not an issue on access to the credit because you're accessing it through the digital channels. So whether you're in US, whether you're in UK, whether you're in Australia, your mobile app will work everywhere, your internet banking will work everywhere. So you can actually apply. That's not actually the challenge. The basic challenge is at the point of reviewing and appraising your credit. Because don't forget that primarily it's a credit. The digital channel is just a channel, is a means. But primarily the product itself is a credit. So I'm going to give you a credit. There are underwriting criteria that I require to approve. So if you're in US and you're based there in US, there are criteria that might even be a problem for me to approve your loan. Because I'm not disbursing money. I'm disbursing a credit. And once it's a credit, there is another leg, which is the repayment side. So if you are out of the country, accessing the facility is not a challenge. But with where you are you domiciled there? Are you on transit? Are you permanently in Nigeria, but you're maybe on transit? If you're permanently in Nigeria, just on a trip, of course you can apply. We will evaluate your loan online. And you meet the requirement, we credit. We don't need you to be physically present to credit your loan. As long as our underwriting criteria, you meet it, wherever you are, we'll credit your loan and it's disbursed. The consumer lending subsector, which is also a critical arm of the retail segment of the market, the biggest challenge it has, I would rather say, the integrity of the consumers themselves. And that has to do with our culture. Our Nigerians, people who have a credit culture, not that really much, but it's evolving, it's building up. The more people get civilized, the more people get enlightened, exposed, they begin to adopt certain culture that is all over the whole world. I mean, so there's this culture in Nigeria that people see debt first as from the point of stigmatization. But abroad, the moment you tamper with somebody's credit life, like his credit rating is affected, he rather kills himself. Because the whole essence of his life is everything about credits. What is evolving here? People are beginning to see the value. So the biggest challenge is the average Nigerian to understand that if I take a credit, it is an obligation that I pay. That's one part. The second part you would have is data, availability of data. You need data to evaluate. So has a consumer obtained facility before? Where has he taken facility? What is his records? Do we have his data? Where does he stay? Where does he live? Are they data that will tell me this is his residential address, this is where he stays, this is his contacts? I can always lay my hand on him anytime. Those data are still at a nascent stage in this economy. So people are building data gradually. So today for me, lending in the consumer subsector, I've decided to do what I call secured lending by lending and taking from deduction as source. So those data availability is a challenge. In developed economy, people move from one place to the other and there is a record that Mr. A has lived here and is moving to this place. So you put it on the system, you see everywhere Christian has lived in his entire life. But in Nigeria, I can tell you that not even your present spouse, if you have gotten one, will tell where you have lived in the last 2 years. You could have moved and there will be no record. So those records are important. It's important that you identify who you're giving facility to. It's also important that I have a data that will show me on the character of the person. How has he handled financial transaction and loans he has taken in the past? Yes, we have gotten credit bureau coming up right now, being a solution where CBN have said everybody you give facility to, update it on credit bureau so that we have a track record of the person's behavior, especially repayment behavior on loans. And the rule is that if you have a bad repayment behavior, naturally I shouldn't lend to you. So the paucity of data is another problem. And of course, capital is important. The business of financing is about buying and selling of money. What am I giving you out? It's money, fund. That's my raw material. That's what I'm giving you. If I don't have it, I can't give you. In the financial industry, people will put money. It's the money they gave you that you lend to people. So if you give me money at a high price, how am I supposed to lend it at a lower rate? So capital is another crucial issue. But like I said, all these challenges are things we are getting over.
From its humble roots in 1999, Aiteo has grown to become one of Africa's fastest energy leaders, contributing in no small measure to the advancement of the Nigerian energy industry. Our integrated value chain in the upstream, downstream, and power sectors is underpinned by extensive local capacity development with significant opportunities to sustain Aiteo's future business. In 2014, Aiteo raised the single largest debt financing in Nigerian oil and gas sector from local banks to become the successful bidder for 45% of OML 29 and Nimbe Creek truck line during the IOC asset divestment in the eastern Niger Delta. Our major fields now include Nimbe, Santa Barbara, Okoroba, Oloibiri, and the Nimbe Creek truck line. Our strategy is to be a vital part of the world's energy solution by developing our core asset in the areas of oil, gas, and electrical power areas. Aiteo is further positioned for growth with our strong, experienced leadership and excellent physical and intellectual asset base. As we grow, our environmental health and safety programs continue to expand. Our goal is to do our part to protect the health and safety of our employees and customers, and to preserve and protect the environment in the communities in which we work and live. Aiteo is breaking new grounds. We have a clear vision for the future and the knowledge and assets necessary to provide for our energy needs on a regional and global scale. Get to know the future. The future is Aiteo.
Thanks for joining us again today on African Brands. We hope that we've been able to keep you entertained and informed about the growing brands right here in our very own backyard. Think you know about a phenomenal brand that needs to be showcased right here on African Brands? Send us an email at info@africanbrands.com and we will jump right on it. I'm Aurea Jiwali. I will see you next week.